Surge in million-dollar home sales. Discover the factors fueling the rapid growth. And we got Rosemary Wright in the Weather Center for us today.
We had a mild start to March, Corey, but don't get used to it. Wet weather on the way. We'll talk about it in your full forecast as NonStop Local at 4 starts right now.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4.
The war in the Middle East spiraled further today as Israel and the United States pounded Iran with airstrikes. Video from the Department of Defense showing military action after the joint killing of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. At least 555 people have been killed in Iran so far by the U.S.-Israeli campaign. That's according to the Iranian Red Crescent Society. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here at NonStop Local at 4. I'm Corey Howard. The U.S. State Department is now urging all U.S. citizens to leave more than a dozen Middle Eastern countries right now. President Trump says U.S. military operations in Iran could go on for at least, quote, 4 to 5 weeks, but could end sooner or later than expected.
An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people. Our country itself would be under threat, and it was very nearly under threat.
Meanwhile, the American military says Kuwaiti air defenses accidentally shot down 3 U.S. fighter jets. All 6 crew members were able to eject, and they are in stable condition. NBC's Gary Grumbach has more details on the friendly fire incident and what President Trump said today in D.C.
The United States and Israel continuing to pound Iran with bombs and missiles for a 3rd straight day. President Trump at the White House explaining why he decided to attack now, after weeks of negotiations with the Iranians.
Our country itself would be under threat, and it was very nearly under threat.
Iran and its allies responding with drone and missile attacks across the region, hitting targets in at least 10 Middle East countries, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Dramatic video after Kuwait shot down 3 American F-15 fighter jets in an apparent friendly fire incident. All 6 crew members survived. The Pentagon confirming today at least 6 U.S. service members have now died after Iranian attacks in the region over the weekend. The president insisting Operation Epic Fury is ahead of schedule after the initial barrage killed nearly 50 top Iranian leaders, including the Ayatollah.
Right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it.
The conflict stranding hundreds of thousands of travelers caught in the middle. Americans like Oliver Sims finding themselves unable to get back to the U.S. with airports and airspace across the Middle East suddenly shut down.
I have no idea as to how I'm going to get out of here. Some people are thinking about going and driving to other countries and then catching flights out of there. And so I'm still weighing several different options.
I don't think they know what they are doing.
On Capitol Hill, Democrats slamming the president's decision to go to war.
They've spent through billions of dollars already. I think folks at home want cheaper health care, cheaper housing. I can go on and on. They don't want billions spent on unnecessary wars overseas and Americans coming home in flag-draped caskets.
The White House is briefing top congressional leaders from both parties on Operation Epic Fury today, and will meet with all members of Congress tomorrow. A bipartisan group of lawmakers says it will vote on a bill this week to rein in President Trump's ability to take further action in Iran. But even if it passes, the president will likely veto it. Gary Grumbach, NBC News, Washington.
As we continue to cover the impacts of the war in Iran, oil prices are surging today as fears are growing that the war could disrupt the global supply of crude and push inflation even higher. According to AAA, the national average for regular gas was just under $3 a gallon today. That's up about 6 cents from a week ago. Analysts say drivers could see prices rise 5 to 10 cents a day in the short term. They point to panic from wholesalers, some of which are raising their prices by 25 cents a gallon out of fear of massive price increases. So, crime tracker in the Tri-Cities now. A teen is hurt in Kennewick after what was believed to be a gang-related shooting over the weekend. Police responded Sunday afternoon to an apartment on West 10th Avenue. Police say a 17-year-old boy was treated for multiple gunshot wounds before he was taken to a local hospital. An investigation is now underway. According to police, detectives believe this was a targeted shooting. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Kennewick Police Department. And more trouble for the proposed sex offender house in Kennewick as police investigate more vandalism. Police say some of the home's windows were shattered overnight. At this time, there are no suspects. The investigation is active and ongoing, and it's not the first time that the home has been targeted. Back on the weekend of February 14th and 15th, police say somebody egged the house. A developing story out of Gonzaga University, where the president of Gonzaga's Black Student Union shared a post alleging at their last event students shouted slurs and even stole possessions from BSU students. NonStop Local's Belle Lewis is tracking this for us. She breaks down the post, GU's response, and what change students are calling for now.
My name is Belle Lewis. I'm a reporter with NonStop Local, and over the weekend you might have seen this post from Gonzaga's Black Student Union alleging that at their last event to celebrate the Harlem Renaissance, students said slurs to them, and some even stole some of their belongings. Now, after this was posted online, hundreds of people flocked to the comment section showing their support for the Gonzaga Black Student Union, including several other Gonzaga groups saying that they were standing in solidarity with the group. Now, on February 24th, the university responded, saying that they were aware of the claims and were also aware of additional comments made on the Fizz social media app. Gonzaga said that they are now banning that app from their IT servers as a result of potentially racist comments. Now, the Black Student Union responded initially on February 24th to the university's statement and again on February 27th, calling on the university to do more, saying that students are scared to go to class and asking the university president to address them directly. Now, of course, we're continuing to keep ourselves updated on the situation. We'll continue to keep you updated as well. We are waiting to hear back from a response from Gonzaga about whether or not the president will address the university, but we have confirmed with Gonzaga that there was no reports made in terms of the stolen materials. However, if students did file a Title IX or bias complaint, we would not know because those are designed to be anonymous reports. So we'll go ahead and keep you updated.
Meanwhile, Pacific Power has announced a nearly $2 billion agreement with Portland General Electric to sell select Washington State generation, transmission, and electric utility operations. The acquisition includes 3 generation facilities, 4,500 miles of transmission and distribution lines, and utility operations across 2,700 miles. The transaction now goes through a lengthy state and federal regulatory review process that is expected to last roughly 12 months. Drew Hansen with PGE says because utilities are legacy-based, these type of transactions don't happen often.
The opportunity to purchase a large portion of the utility doesn't come often. And so that's why there has been that significant amount of intention and thought put into this on how to best approach this while protecting customers.
Both Pacific Power and Portland General Electric have posted answers to frequently asked questions to their websites. For more on what the transition period will look like once this agreement is finalized. All right, let's go over to Rosemary Wright in the Weather Center because, Rosemary, I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school here. I think that was the best weekend that we've had of 2026 so far. Beautiful sunshine, beautiful weather, just a great time to get out.
Yes, it was very comfortable. It was very mild. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. What more can you ask for when we're still technically in winter? Just take a live look over the falls right now. We're 4 minutes past 9 p.m. and what a great time to be riding the gondola, right? So we look at our almanac for today. You'll see that temperatures actually climbed to 54 degrees in Spokane. That's 10 degrees above our historical average for March 2nd across the city. As we look at our satellite radar, you'll see that today was a dry one for much of eastern Washington and North Idaho too. We captured some scattered showers and snow flurries just north of Omak, but that's all. As we look at our current conditions, we've got temperatures at 54 degrees across the metro area, 50 degrees even along the Palouse and Pullman right now, and Chewelah at 56 with clear sunny skies across the board. Overnight here, we're looking for temperatures to drop into the low 30s for Spokane. 0% chance of precipitation through those early morning hours in the Lilac City, and single-digit winds across the board. Those dry conditions set to last through Tuesday until this big push of moisture comes off of Washington's west coast by Tuesday night, bringing with it lowland rain and mountain snow for eastern Washington and North Idaho. As we look at that chance for precipitation over the next 7 days, you'll notice that that system kind of pushes further into Idaho as we get into the tail end of the work week. We'll take a closer look at that in our full forecast. Corey.
Thanks, Rosemary. $1-million homes are popping up across the Tri-Cities like never before. Local real estate experts say a home in this price range now sells every 4 to 5 days. Real estate data shows 85 homes sold for more than $1 million in the Tri-Cities in 2025. That's a jump from just 1 in 2015 and fewer than 10 in 2019.
The pandemic just made everything cost more due to the law of supply and demand. Everybody wanted a house, and there weren't enough houses to go around.
She also noted that higher building costs and low supply are pushing luxury prices up. She expects sales of $1 million homes to keep growing in 2026, even if the pace overall slows. Looking ahead to one of Spokane's signature events, registration now open for Hoop Fest 2026. The world's largest 3-on-3 outdoor basketball tournament. The deadline for guaranteed registration is May 17th. Hoop Fest will take place on June 27th and 28th throughout the streets of downtown Spokane. Entry in the Special Olympics, wheelchair, and unified divisions are free, while registration costs in other divisions range from $124 to $224. And if playing isn't your thing, but you still want to participate, volunteer registration is also open right now. So to come this afternoon on NonStop Local at 4, our series on sinkholes continues. Not because we wanted to. Sinkholes just keep popping up, but this one is unique in that they found something inside the sinkhole that, well, would have been useful about 80 years ago. Now it'd probably just give you a tummy ache. But we'll talk all about that in the latest edition of Hey, Shut Your Sinkhole.
And there's more to see in weather, too. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at wet weather headed our way after a dry weekend. That's next. It's a beautiful afternoon across the inland northwest. For nearly a quarter past 4 p.m., we've got temperatures at 58 degrees over in Yakima, 54 degrees in Spokane right now, at 61 for the Tri-Cities, and single-digit winds there too. On our satellite radar, you'll see it was a dry day for both Spokane and Kootenai counties. And as we check in with our friends in south central Washington state and northern Oregon, a similar pattern, passing cloud cover, but no moisture to speak of. As we look at our futurecast, you'll notice overnight here and through to tomorrow morning, we're expecting that pattern to hold. Dry weather for eastern Washington and North Idaho, some scattered showers along Washington's west side. As for winds during this time, we're looking for gusts to creep up into the teens, but beyond that, pretty calm breezes throughout the rest of the night here as temperatures drop to 32 degrees for Spokane, 38 degrees on tap for the Tri-Cities tonight, and 35 degrees are expected low low for Yakima, 0% chance of precipitation during that time. Highs for tomorrow, another day in the 50s at 55 degrees for both Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Post Falls not too far ahead, 56 degrees are expected high for Tuesday there. Along our northern border, we're looking at similar highs, upper 40s through areas like Republic at 47 degrees, mid 50s through Chewelah at 54 degrees, upper 50s through Colfax and Potlatch. As for the LC Valley, of course, sitting warmer, 64 degrees are expected high for Lewiston. As for central Washington state, 58 degrees is our expected high through Moses Lake, with Ritzville just a degree ahead at 59 degrees. As for south central Washington state, Tri-Cities and Yakima, we're looking at mid-60s across the board. 63 degrees are expected high for areas like Kennewick and Pasco. 64 degrees expected through Richland. Taking a look at our futurecast now, we'll start with that national picture. We've got more wet weather set to push through the Virginias as well as the Carolinas and then into New England through midweek here and into Thursday. We start to see more snowy weather for our friends in areas like New York. Closer to home, you'll notice 0% chance of precipitation for eastern Washington and North Idaho until Wednesday, when we start to see that chance for lowland rain and mountain snow. Likely precipitation for many of us by Wednesday afternoon. That starts to taper off for those of us in eastern Washington as we get later into the week, and that system continues on a path further east. How much snow are we set to get for those mountain areas? Well, we see those along the west side start to pick up first on Tuesday. By Wednesday, those of us further inland start to follow suit. Between right now and the end of the day on Thursday, we could have as much as 4 additional inches of snow along Lookout Pass. So something to keep in mind if you have any road travel planned heading east. As for winds during this time, we see those start to pick up. National Weather Service has said we could see gusts between 25 and 30 miles per hour between right now and Thursday. So nothing too crazy, but we are going to have more breezy weather than what we've had over the weekend and into the start of the week so far. Over the next 7 days, though, will those temperatures remain as warm as we're seeing? Kind of seems like it. We're at 55 degrees tomorrow in Spokane, 49 degrees on Wednesday as that chance of precipitation rises to likely showers, coasting in the upper 40s on Thursday and Friday, a return to the low 50s Saturday and into Sunday. Pretty similar pattern for the Tri-Cities and Yakima, except there you all will have a few days in the 60s. So that's your forecast, but stick around when we come back. Got some trending news to talk about. That's next here at
Welcome back and look at NonStop Local for not just your go-to source for patents, fun games on days named Friday, or even animals doing animal things where you normally wouldn't expect them to do animal things. We're also your trusted source for all things sinkholes. Rosemary, it's been a busy couple of weeks in the world of sinkholes.
Surprising.
Yeah,
You would
right?
think that there would be a lot of sinkhole news, but a dump truck in New Jersey was on its way to fix a sinkhole only to get sucked into a sinkhole. Then last week in Nebraska, there was another one that opened up and swallowed 2 vehicles whole. Thankfully, no one was hurt in either of these.
I switched those videos around. That was my fault. But for sure, that brings us to today's episode of, hey, shut your sinkhole. Because we need them shut, right? And Rosemary, today's episode takes us all the way to the United Kingdom with the Davy Holm Park Golf Club. And not for a hole-in-one, but a sink hole-in-one.
Nice. That's a good one.
Not really.
Yeah, so groundskeepers there saw the appearance of a sinkhole on the 13th hole. And while they were trying to fix that, they uncovered what appears to be an old cellar, which they believe dates back to the original manor house more than 100 years ago. And it was filled with historic wine and port bottles too, Corey.
Presumably, they're left over from the original manor, as you mentioned, or the last time John Daly played there. But either way, pretty cool. And as for whether or not you can still drink the wine, well, I'm not sure. But if they're looking for a guinea pig or a canary to go into that coal mine, send me a bottle. I'll take them for a spin.
Well, port wines are known to last for a long time, but as for just regular wine, it's probably past drinkable at this point.
Possibly. I wonder how they even built an entire golf course and somehow just missed this old wine cellar under the 13th hole.
It
a lot of
seems
equipment
like
there.
it would be haunted or something. It sounds like a poltergeist,
It looks
part
haunted.
5 or something.
And then what do you do with it now? Just fill the sinkhole and bury the wine cellar? Make it a hazard? 2-stroke penalty for hitting it into the cellar? It'd be interesting to see what the plan is with that there. But for now, that's just, I guess they're getting the wine out. And if you want to send a bottle, will you try it, Rosemary?
No, but I do know I want to know where the sinkholes are coming from. This is like reminding me of Trimmers. There's worms under all of these cities.
Worms?
Yes, like in Trimmers.
Well, we haven't seen the worms yet, but anyways. If you're golfing over in the UK, watch out for the sinkholes, and if you find one, pick up a bottle of wine. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after. It was probably left to just best to just leave it on, as our director Max said, it was on the 13th hole. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was covered up for a reason.
That sounds pretty scary. Seems unlucky.
Maybe put that back. Put that back. But anyways, if you live in our region, maybe you're familiar with skijoring. You know skijoring?
Ski-joring?
Ski-joring.
Right? Yeah.
Ski-joring.
Well, it's happening all across the country too, not just here, especially as winter weather starts to wind down. One fairgrounds in Maine recently hosted its final ski-jor competition of the season. Competitors raced over the weekend skiing behind horses through a 1,000-foot course of gates, rings, and jumps.
I'm putting an emphasis on it because it's Norwegian. Skijor. I don't know if I'm doing that right, but it's a Norwegian word for ski driving. Brings out novice and pro teams chasing prizes out there.
My love of horses combined with being a snowboarder all my life, to put 2 and 2 together, this is the only place that you're able to do it on the East Coast is up in Maine.
Organizers say the event draws people from across the region and turns the cold season into a thrilling community competition, although, I don't know. they do this in Wallace, right?
Yes, they do it in Wallace.
John's a big fan of that?
They just had their ski jor 2 weeks ago. It was Valentine's Day weekend.
So is it ski jor, like 2 syllables, or is it skajor?
They call it ski jor, 2 syllables.
Ski jor.
But they also don't do it with horses. They're doing it with ATVs. So they're doing it a little different out in Wallace.
Well, you get a little more speed with that, I suppose. You only have 1 horsepower there, but with a... Be right back after. I washed my truck yesterday. That was probably a bad idea, it sounds like, right? You said it's going to...
Oh, it is going to rain. Sorry about it.
It was good to give it a bath. I don't know. Hey, Tri-Cities, Yakima, we'll see you tomorrow. Spokane, we'll see you. Straight ahead on NonStop Local at 4:30, Operation Epic Fury continues as President Trump stands by his decision to strike Iran. Hear his reasoning and the impact on American Lives coming up next. And back home, Spokane City Council votes on a controversial ice-free zone ordinance. Here, Councilmember Paul Dillon's insights on the debate. Plus, don't miss tomorrow's total lunar eclipse. We'll reveal when the skies will be clear for this rare event.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe with content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 4:30.
Today, the United States military continues to carry out large-scale combat operations in Iran to eliminate the grave threats posed to America by this terrible terrorist regime.
President Trump is defending the decision to join Israel in attacking Iran as the White House briefs congressional leaders on the operation. The Pentagon now says 6 American service members have died following Iranian counterstrikes over the weekend. As U.S. and Israeli military operations in Iran continued to a third day, the president says the conflict could last for weeks, possibly longer. Coming up tonight, Spokane City Council will cast a vote to amend an ordinance aiming to put ice-free zones in place. NonStop Local's Ainsley Anderson joining us in studio here. Ainsley, good afternoon. So what exactly could the introduction of these zones mean for the city?
Well, Corey, that is a really good question. Supporters of this ordinance, they say that this would promote a sense of safety on city-owned property and allows people the opportunity to take legal action if they are unlawfully detained. Opponents say it could make things harder for immigration and customs enforcement officers to do their job within city limits. Sponsors of the proposed ordinance say, quote, immigration enforcement free zones establish protections to promote trust and safety by ensuring city-owned property is not voluntarily used to support immigration enforcement activities without a judicial warrant. Now, growing deportation numbers have sparked conversation with city leaders about the potential of a detention facility in the inland Northwest. Mayor Lisa Brown actively opposing the expansion. NonStop Local did get the chance to speak with Councilmember Paul Dillon about all of this last week, and here is what he had to say.
This really is a blanket ban, and so when you're looking at, again, what is an allowable use for a building, zoning code is what applies. And so with any detention facility that would be cited, you're really creating a new framework. But when I ask people, do you want a detention center in your backyard, the answer is unequivocally no.
Dillon says a ban on use of city property by ICE would make a facility in the city a little bit of a tough feat. This vote will come just a week after council voted 6-1 to give $100,000 to the Spokane Immigrant Rights Coalition under what the council is calling a community justice fund for immigrants. And another item that we will be watching for this evening is a vote by council that could potentially ban the sale and advertisement of Kratom products within city limits. I will be at tonight's meeting, and I will have updates for you on the agenda items throughout the evening on our 8 o'clock Pulse and our 9 p.m. Pulse Prime. Corey.
Ainsley, thank you very much. Another development out of Spokane. Scraps issuing a statement in response to March pet license renewal notices that they say contained incorrect or invalid information. Scraps saying they did not renew their contract with third-party licensing vendor Pet Data at the end of 2025, which led to license data sent to Scraps about expired licenses to being corrupt somehow, leaving January and February data unaffected. Scraps says to disregard the notice if you do not own the animals listed and to contact them directly if you have any questions or concerns. No concerns about the weather right now, though, with Rosemary Wright in the Weather Center, at least this past weekend. I guess looking forward into the later week, we're going to be getting a little wet, but let's just enjoy what we have now in this meteorological spring, yes?
Yes, it's meteorological spring, but still regular winter, even though the weather really doesn't seem like it. You got me with that hard word, Corey. Regardless, today was a really beautiful and pleasant one across the inland Northwest, including as we're getting into those afternoon hours. We're 34 minutes past the hour with temperatures still holding strong in the 50s across the metro area as well as along the Palouse and even up in Chihuahua too. So we look at that satellite radar, you'll see we had passing cloud cover today, but no real moisture to speak of for much of the inland Northwest. Look at what we're expecting to happen overnight too for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, and Lewiston. Mostly clear skies, which is perfect because we've got Good news to look for in the sky tonight, and temperatures dropping into the 30s across eastern Washington and North Idaho. As we look at that futurecast, you'll notice conditions are set to remain dry throughout much of tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we see this system coming off of Washington's west side, pushing into eastern Washington and North Idaho, bringing with it a chance for snow up in those higher elevations and rain or mix of rain and snow for lower elevations, including the metro area. Towards the tail end of the week, that system kind of pushes further into Idaho, and with that, more of that chance of precipitation is isolated into North Idaho, and then we see that chance of rain or snow drop for areas like Spokane and other portions of eastern Washington through midweek and into the tail end of the work week. As for Coeur d'Alene, that chance of precipitation remains at 40% over the weekend and then rises to 60% on Monday. Coming up in your full forecast, we'll take a closer look at timing for all of that. But before I send things back to Corey, we're tracking a rare total lunar eclipse that will paint the moon red overnight, which is why it's kind of great we're having those clear skies. Meteorologist Justin Spinney is tracking this rare event for us, and he has the tips for getting the best view too.
For our early risers, just fans of seeing cool events in the sky, tomorrow morning is going to be a special one. Total lunar eclipse, often referred to as the blood moon. So going back to junior high astronomy lessons here, we get this event because the Earth is spinning around the sun, the moon is spinning around us, and sometimes it lines up just right to where the Earth is blocking those rays from the sunshine and casts a shadow over the moon. As a result of that, it gets that red hue. Looks like a blood moon up there. That is exactly what's going to be happening tomorrow morning. So if you want to see it, the question is, what time do you have to get up? It is going to be rather early. This is the window of time we're focused on right here, 3:04 a.m. to 4:03. That is when we're going to have totality, and we should be able to see it in the inland northwest. That's when that moon is going to be the reddest. So it is very early in the morning, but it might just be worth it. The next question becomes, will we actually be able to see it? We have so many of these cool events, but can't see it because of the cloud cover. Tomorrow morning, though, we might just have a window before some heavier cloud cover moves in to be able to see it. There we are. Total eclipse time between 3 and 4 a.m. should be lasting about 58 minutes, and we won't have a cloudless sky, but we should have enough clearing in the sky where we should at least get glimpses of it or have chances to take pictures. And hey, if you get any of those cool pictures, make sure to send them our way. This is likely going to be our last chance to see it until at least 2028, so might just be worth that early alarm.
Thanks, Justin. Meanwhile, Paramount Plus and HBO Max will merge into a single streaming platform after it officially takes over Warner Brothers Discovery. That's according to the company's top executive. The call came days after Warner formally signed an agreement to be acquired in a blockbuster deal by Paramount. The deal was inked after Netflix abruptly pulled out of the bidding war. And Apple has now added a budget model to its most recent lineup of mobile devices. The iPhone 17e costs about $600. Analysts say that could signify a demand for cheaper cellular options. The iPhone 17e has the same processor, but a slightly smaller screen and lacks some of the frills of its more expensive counterparts. It will be available for pre-order starting on Wednesday, and the device launches on March 11th. So come this afternoon on NonStop Local at 4. Remember when printing off directions from MapQuest seemed like the future that the Jetsons told us about? Well, now we're apparently at the point where we're asking robots what the red spot on our ankle might be. More and more people turning to AI, and companies starting to notice with health questions. Plus, look, I've been saying it for weeks. My tulips are confused. They think it's spring. Now I'm seeing ice cream trucks. Now I think it's spring. Just as confused as my tulips. Is it that time of year already? According to some. But is that good? I don't know. I don't want to say it's good. It's a question of the day here. Do you eat ice cream in the winter? It's a little more lopsided than even will the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, but there you go. 7% of you at least agreeing with me. Go to khq.com/vote, scan the QR code, or tell me all about it on my Facebook and TikTok pages. We're going to have a quick 2-minute break, and then back with Rosemary's Full. do it. There you go. Yeah. Who doesn't like a good bridge demolition? This one was in northern Kentucky this morning. Connected the cities of Covington and Newport.
Explosives attached to the Licking River Bridge were detonated at 10 a.m. local time. The pieces of that bridge fell into the water and were retrieved using barges equipped with cranes.
The Licking River Bridge was built in the 1930s but was no longer able to handle modern traffic needs. Today's demolition part of a $100 million replacement project.
Construction on a new bridge will begin later this year, and the new structure is scheduled to open in 2028.
I need to go look up why it's called the Licking River.
Maybe the river is like splashing and licking onto the land. I don't know. That's fun, right?
I got homework to do while you tell us all about the weather here.
Yes, over here, no bridges to blow up, but beautiful skies over Spokane right now, nearly 4:45 p.m. We've got temperatures at 54 degrees in the metro area and winds nice and calm too. So we look at that satellite radar for Spokane and Kootenai counties, you'll see beautiful day today. Cloud cover passing over, but not thick cloud cover, and no rain or snow to speak of. Futurecast, you'll notice overnight for eastern Washington and North Idaho, we're expecting more dry and calm conditions as we start to see some scattered showers along Washington's west side too. Winds during this time look to climb up into the low teens in terms of gusts for much of the inland northwest, and then of course more active through northwestern Montana and Cut Bank area as temperatures drop to 32 degrees overnight for Spokane. 33 degrees are expected low for the Lake City. Another night below freezing for areas like Priest River at 31 degrees and Deer Park at 30 degrees even. As for our highs for tomorrow, we're looking for temperatures to climb to 55 degrees for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. A return to the 60s for Lewiston at 64 degrees, as well as for Kamei at 61 degrees. As for central Washington through Moses Lake, we see temperatures max out at 58 degrees tomorrow. Another look at that futurecast getting you through midweek now. We've got 0% chance of precipitation for much of the inland northwest through tomorrow, Tuesday. Then Wednesday, that system that we saw off of the west side pushes further inland. We start to see areas of eastern Washington and North Idaho light up. Towards the tail end of the week, much of that activity is kind of isolated further inland. Just how much moisture could we see? Well, first, of course, along the west side, we see that accumulation of rainfall build, and then by Wednesday, the rest of us start to follow suit. Between right now and the end of the day on Thursday, we're looking for areas like Orofino to lead the pack with about 0.7 of an inch expected. Winds during that time also look to pick up as that more active weather pattern begins. We set to see gusts between 25 and 30 miles per hour for Spokane and Kootenai counties Wednesday and into Thursday. As for temperatures during this time, they look to remain pretty warm for this time of year. We're talking 55 degrees tomorrow, a return to the upper 40s on Wednesday as that chance for rain begins. And then weather set to dry out on Thursday. Temperatures remain in the upper 40s at 48 degrees then and 49 degrees on Friday. Return to the 50s Saturday into Sunday, and 49 degrees are expected high on Monday. You'll notice for Coeur d'Alene that chance of precipitation lasts Wednesday into Sunday. So that's your forecast, but stick around. When we come back, we're talking question of the day.
Welcome back to the show, and I think it's not an exaggeration. I said it earlier in the show. I'll say it again that yesterday, the nicest day weather-wise thus far in 2026. It was gorgeous. I went on a run through the park, the Centennial Trail. I took this awfully framed and lit photo in an effort to showcase the beautiful falls and as proof of my run, because if I don't take a picture, Rosemary, and share it with the world, did I even run 4.39 miles? The answer is no. And I wasn't the only one out running. There were a lot of people taking advantage of the beautiful weather this weekend. And it's still technically winter, as we said, meteorologically. It's spring, right? But astronomical spring doesn't start for another 18 days, which is why, bit of a shock to see this on Saturday.
Believe your eyes and ears. This was seen rolling through a neighborhood in North Spokane on Saturday, the 28th, which is still winter from both that meteorological and astronomical standpoint. The music, the treats on the side, while it wasn't 90 degrees, you got to figure they wouldn't be out there driving around if there weren't people buying ice cream, right?
Right. So if you found yourself outside on a run doing yard work, washing the car, perhaps you heard that and said, yeah, taking down a popsicle that looks like SpongeBob from my nightmares would really hit the spot right now.
The gumball eyes are never in place, right?
They're
Regardless,
just not. Yeah.
One of our coworkers took that video and said, you know, we do those polls about is it too early for Christmas or Halloween decorations? Is this too early for ice cream?
I think of all the ice cream shops around town, right? I wonder how they do it in the winter months, because sure, there's always a birthday or something to celebrate, but for me at least, ice cream is the last thing I want during the winter months. But my kids, they could not care less. Any time is a good time for ice cream. So they're probably happy about the return of the ice cream man, but our question of the day on this sunny March 2nd, do you eat ice cream in the winter? And I guess what a dumb question of the day, Rosemary, apparently, because everybody, 88% of people saying, of course. Do you?
I mean, I did have an affogato maybe a week ago. You know, when you get the ice cream and they pour the coffee over it at the restaurants.
Yeah.
I did have an affogato. I think I got maybe a pint of Ben & Jerry's half-baked in like mid-December. So yes, to answer your question, yes.
Okay, maybe the rarely, maybe I'm in the rarely section. If it's around, maybe I'll eat it. But Terry says, really, Corey, ice cream year-round? Again, it was a dumb question. I apologize.
Christy is on the same page. Ice cream is a good source of calcium. It's a necessary supplement for the body.
You got to eat ice cream to get your calcium. Sure, Pauline says, I eat ice cream no matter what the weather is. Love it. Best wishes for a very busy year to the ice cream folks.
Kevin, yes, of course. Do you drink coffee in the summer? That one was sassy.
Even in the winter, but in the winter, I'm even drinking iced coffees every now and then. So it's, I don't know. It surprises me that it's February and the ice cream truck is still driving around.
I will say I definitely eat more ice cream in the summer.
Yeah.
But it's never a full stop, not for me.
And while the gumballs are never in the right place and you get hilarious, it still tastes delicious. It's still good. I enjoy a SpongeBob popsicle every now and then. A Sonic the Hedgehog one, those are good too. I'm the 40-year-old guy running after the ice cream truck waving my money around.
My mom always says, gets messed up when you eat it. So
yeah, exactly.
It's okay if the eyes are out of place.
It's going to happen. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after.
This is breaking news.
We're tracking breaking news out of the Middle East right now. Saudi Arabia is saying a U.S. embassy in the country has been attacked. NonStop Local's Bradley Warren tracking this for us in the Pulse studio. Bradley, what do you know?
Yeah, so it sounds like this was in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia where our embassy is, and it sounds like 2 drones were involved in this attack from what they're calling right now a limited fire. Let's take you live to Doha right now, which is giving us the live shot again of the area. Just getting some information from the State Department in saying that the location in Riyadh and Jeddah, they are advising a shelter in place for Americans in the area, and they are limiting non-essential travel at this moment in time, and again recommending any American citizens in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia shelter in place immediately. This is they are working right now to figure out if there is a way to assist in evacuations for American citizens. Again, the State Department putting in place a travel advisory in place for Jeddah and Riyadh, and then posting some phone numbers for the embassy and consulate generals in that country. If you have family members in the area, as we take you live to Doha, things are quiet in Qatar, but again, part of the region where we've seen a lot of the situation sort of spiral off into. We've seen in Qatar, we've seen in Oman, we've seen in Jordan, we've seen in these other countries near sort of the epicenter of the situation with Iran, sort of have related issues. Again, now it looks like some sort of attack taking place on one of our embassies. Watching this all for you right now. As it is fast evolving, we'll let you know.
Bradley Warren reporting for us. Thank you very much, Bradley. And Bradley's tracking this story all day long. Many more stories in the Pulse studio. These are hourly updates. You can get them on nonstoplocal.com or through the NonStop Local app. We'll take a quick break. We're back right now. Well, some folks thought they'd get a nice little balloon ride more than 1,000 feet in the air, but ended up having to be rescued nearly 1,000 feet up in the air after their balloon hit a comms tower in Longview, Texas.
Firefighters rescued them from nearly 1,000 feet up on Saturday morning. Video shows crews climbing the tower for over 5 hours to reach the balloonists.
Wow, a man and a woman were flying to a birthday party with 8 other balloons. They went to the hospital just as a precaution, but you got to wonder, like, we're going to the birthday party. Are we taking the minivan or no, we're taking the hot air balloon, of course.
And the fact that they were 1 out of 8, you're stuck for 5 hours and your 7 balloons of friends are partying.
They missed the party. Yeah. Oh, bummer. Hey, NonStop Local at 5 is going to start in just 90 seconds. Stick around.